Away. Did you ever watch that?
No.
Okay, so I'm on like part 2 now, but I'm not gonna give away anything. But one of the premises, one aspect of that show is that there's a scientist, a rogue scientist, and he's doing unethical experiments on individuals, but at the same time, it's like for the sake of like the advancement because he's learning how to go to another dimension, like because you know how we were talking about like maybe perhaps heaven isn't like a oh it's another place here or hell isn't a place there, it's a dimension. It
Yeah.
can birth multiple dimensions. And so the concept is like what happens when you die, and that's what he's trying to figure out. But I don't want to give it away, but more so in the sense that like all around the world there could be rogues, there are
Yeah.
rogue scientists
Oh, yeah.
doing things for the advancement of whatever the world, which is also scary because at any moment in time, like a real plague could really go up or like
Yeah.
killer mosquitoes or anything.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, several things. I have been paying attention to the types of psychological attacks that they've been implementing on us as a society. And the only way they can know these things is if they've been studying the way people react to things, and the way people do things. And that, the Nazis were really big on that, and they watched and observed, and they knew exactly how to use their propaganda to manipulate the masses into thinking and doing what they wanted. Well, newsflash, that has not gone away. Like that's just gotten more advanced and more covert. But so that's the one thing, because I've been noticing, I'm like, wow, they sure do know exactly how to keep people in a constant state of fear. And they know that when people are in a state of fear, they're in their fight or flight mode, where you literally, you cannot think about anything other than protecting yourself. You can't think about anything other than you're in survival mode. So if they keep people in a constant state of fear, they know that they're easily manipulated, and they can control those people. So obviously, I don't watch the news. I don't even turn TV really on. I just will watch streaming stuff on, Hulu or Netflix, I actually don't even think we have Netflix right now, but I only really watch a few different series, and that's it. And other than that, it's YouTube. But if you turn the TV on, or if you go somewhere where the TV is cable is on, and the news or the whatever, it is an attack. It is an assault on people, and people don't understand that. They don't understand that every time you're watching the news, they don't tell you something good that happened. It's always this scary thing, that scary thing. Well, that's done by design. It's done to purposely keep people in a state of fear, a state of panic, and keep people in a state of fight or flight so that they don't know how to think rationally about anything. And obviously, you know this because we've talked about it so many times, but so there's that one element. But then the fact that these people have been doing it for so long is the other element. And did you ever see Dune, the new Dune that just came out last year? No, it's a movie, and it's with it's with a whole lot of people, but it's really, really good. I love the soundtrack also. But in Dune, basically there's an organization of, I don't know if you'd call them probably witches, I don't know, but basically they're an ancient group of women that make sure that they position themselves. And this is I think this is based on an old movie, so maybe it's an old story, I don't know, but I just saw the recent one. But basically these women, they have daughters specifically, and they rear them up to be in high positions in society so that they can sort of curate the outcome, kind of carve the path, mold the path, if you will, in the direction of humanity, where people are going. And so when I kind of and it's kind of very brief. It's one conversation that happens in this whole 3-hour movie. And I picked up on it quickly, and I was like, wait a second. Because she's at one point, the old lady says, she gets mad at the women because she had a son instead of a daughter. And she says, we've been doing this for millennia or for hundreds of years or centuries. And she said, every century, we position ourselves. I don't know, but I can't remember exactly. I don't want to, botch the line. But basically, they're an organization that has been doing this for hundreds of years in order to like kind of manipulate society in a sense. And so it just makes me be like, oh, wait a second. Like, it seems kind of like the same thing is happening.
Oh, for sure. That's what the thing where we're talking about, that we see those repeated patterns because they're kind of like not creative. They are,
yeah,
but like it's kind of like at this point we're like, wait a minute,
yeah, totally.
Wait a minute,
right? They need a better like advertising team or something. I don't know,
because they're doing the same things. Like even how fashion repeats itself.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Somebody was like, I see something from my childhood. It was literally like the 90s and 2003. The fashion is coming back. But
Right.
I'm like, yeah. But I'm just like, but still, like everything repeats itself,
Yeah.
and because there's no originality. I mean,
Yeah.
what? So, and it's kind of like it goes back to that insulting thing where it's like, hey, I see you, and you're doing the same. You're trying to get over. You already got over on me, and now you're trying to get over me with the same thing again. Come on, guys.
I guess they figure like, hey, it worked the first time. Let's try it again. You know,
Right.
like
They're like, it worked the first 100 times.
we don't like. No, we're not falling for that. Well, that's all we have to do this time around. Like, just be like, yeah, no, I'm not falling for that trick. You know,
I think we're
Let's go away.
there. I think we're pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people are there. Some people aren't. But
Yeah.
a lot of people are. But like back to what I was saying about the aliens, isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
like all this time, people are like, they're like, it's alien. And I keep watching all these videos, and I'm like, something's definitely going on. Because do you see like the lights and the clouds? And
Do you think it could be like Project Bluebeam? Like,
I'm not saying it's aliens, but I'm like, something's going on. I don't know. Wait, what's Project Blue Bleed?
blah 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 blah. Like blah blah blah. It's hard. It's like a tongue twister. Project Bluebeam is it's like a government project where they can kind of create things in the sky. Like they can do holographic
Like
images,
holographic?
yeah,
Oh, like-
in the sky to pretend that there's an alien invasion. They can actually project it into the sky. So it could be that, or dun dun dun, like we had talked about previously, that it could be these I don't want to say demons, but these beings from another place.
Supernatural.
Yeah, something supernatural that people have been confusing with aliens for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch that channel on YouTube. What is that channel called with the scary stories?
Well, interesting stories. I was like,
Scary. I listened to them and I was like, these are scary.
Mr. Ballin.
Yes, Mr.
I
Ballin.
love Mr. Ballin. But well, okay. So yeah, Mr. Ballin, he started off with the Missing 411, which was about supernatural things happening with people being missing in the national parks
Yeah.
specifically, but under real mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's what drew me in initially. And plus, Mr. Ballin is a really good storyteller.
Yeah, he's really good.
That's because you can listen to other people tell stories and you're like, next. But he's really good at it. But I also really liked it because it seemed to me to shed light on a topic that doesn't really get highlighted, because all these supernatural things were happening in these national parks. So it really got me really interested in national parks, and just when they all started being developed and whatnot. That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. But it shone a light on the fact that there's so many things happening supernaturally in our world that's kind of being covered up.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that it seemed like it was a lot of different supernatural creatures and maybe portals that's out in national parks that they want to kind of cover up. And if that's the case, and if what we're seeing now is supernatural and there are portals, like, I don't know, what's that one show? We hope you love all these shows. But with Seven.
I don't think I saw that.
Yes, you do. Seven. Where it's like demigod.
Yeah. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yes. Messing with portals, all
Yeah.
these different things. Like I said, the mad scientists out in the world, we never know what each other are doing.
Yeah.
We're kind of at the mercy of each other. Everyone play your part right, but at the same time,
Yeah.
we know people are in labs with doing crazy stuff with monkeys and stuff. And Mr. Ballin, but I was saying that like Mr. Ballin, yes, his stories are now his stories are a lot about like mysterious things happening. But what I was saying was that one of the important aspects of it is that it really did open me up to the fact that there are, to me it was like evidence that supernatural things were happening, and there were, to me it sounded like it was evidence of supernatural creatures and like portals, dimensions. And that's when I brought up Stranger Things. You helped me out with that, and just the fact that like that probably is happening. That there are people who are like, we want to work on opening a portal or dimension and are going to somewhere else. Like, what is that? I was watching. Here's another show, Fringe, and they talked a lot about that. Like, that's what was the premise of the show in a nutshell, was about going to another dimension and opening up portals and stuff. And we know how like art imitates life, right? And they're like, oh, this is fiction. But like you said earlier, like, is it really imitating, or is it really just, shedding some light? Sometimes I think that like the writers, you think like, okay, what is the reason behind this? And I think that sometimes like even they want to expose things or tell us things, and they have to do it in that type of way. But I mean, obviously with permission. But yeah,
I agree. And I definitely think that these showrunners, these writers, producers, directors, they know things, and they definitely know, they probably know what's happening in these national parks. And the first thing is like, we have to think about why did they turn it into a national park in the first place? It's not to protect the trees or the animals, because clearly the way we see them cutting down rainforests and shooting buffalo, they killed all the buffalo. Why would they suddenly care about this particular area? No, you're probably right. It probably is to hide the fact that there's something there that they don't want the average person to go into or to know about. And what's interesting is, a long time ago, I would listen to a lot of Native American elders, and a lot of their stories, and they would talk about portals, and they would talk about how entire tribes would disappear through like a doorway that only they knew how to access. And it was just like, like right there out in the open, but they knew what stones it was in between. They knew what exactly to do to open it up, and they would walk through it. And I don't know if they were going from maybe one part of the world to another, or if they were literally going from this world to another world. And it could be both. It could be one, or it could be the other. I don't know. But we definitely know that there were portals in the old world. There probably still are, because just like there are ley lines, they don't ever go away. I think it's just part of the earth. And if we really think about it, with all the different levels, the different dimensions, like in the Vedas, they talk about the 7 heavenly planes and the 7 lower heavenly planes. So we know that there are at least other planes above and below our earth plane. We also know that there are different side dimensions, so we've got the ones that go up and down, and then we have the ones that go side by side. There could be like a billion different dimensions layered next to each other. We don't know. And it could just be the natural design of this place. And the place is designed with doorways. Like, you don't design a house without doors and windows. So why would this place that we're in, this earth place, this cosmic universe, whatever it is, why would it be designed without doors and windows? It makes sense for there to be doorways and portals to go from one dimension to the other, And that's probably why you read scripture and you find out that they were building the Tower of Babel to get to the upper plane. They weren't just doing it for fun, they were doing it for a reason. They knew somehow if we can access a doorway if we build something or other. I don't know, and it's possible that these doorways are in these protected lands,
And plus, the first national park, from my understanding, was developed in the 1800s. And anything from the 1800s is questionable.
Yeah.
It's a questionable time period. So anything that they're doing then makes me be like, okay, what's that about? The first one, I believe, was Yellowstone Park. And here in America has I believe the highest amount of national parks. I think it is. Which makes me think that a lot of supernatural things going on in North America.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on that, because a lot of our, just like you were saying, our ancestors, our Native American ancestors, definitely, I don't say, yeah, we have stories about things
Yeah.
like that. So.
There's so much to dive into that, but I do want to get back to the alien thing, because I definitely think, just based off of my own research, and if anyone listens to like ufologists, that's what they're called. They have these conventions and they meet up in, Area 50, like around Area 51. A lot of them have been. They'll tell you, because they've been studying this for 30 years, they'll tell you that aliens are not what people think that they are. They're actually very ancient beings. The old texts, depending on which text you're reading, if it's like, the Arabic text, they'll call them jinn, they're called, fallen angels, they're called demons, depends on where, which text you're reading from, but they're very ancient, disembodied spirits is one of them. They're very, very, very ancient. And they've been here. And I think there's something happening recently, because all of a sudden, if they've known, ever since Roswell, right, they've known that these quote unquote aliens exist, right? Why all of a sudden now are they trying to talk about it? And so it makes me wonder, like, are we going through some sort of shift? Are these ancient spirits trying to reveal themselves, and they have to reveal themselves under the guise of being an alien? I don't know. It's just like there's a lot of questions. Or is this just like a farce to, distract people from other things that's happening,
It definitely, I don't know, when I look at, because for one, we've not seen an alien yet. Like, I mean, people have their sightings. And one of the things I would like to bring up is, what I had discussed with you prior to this conversation about that different cultures have different visions of what the aliens look like. So you would think that if it was one, so is it multiple beings who come to our earth, or is it something else going on? Because if it was multiple, like, whoa, that's a lot. And even if it was one, why does everybody see them? Why do different cultures report seeing them differently?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good question, because it's like there have been so many different types. I mean, we obviously have like the traditional gray alien, right? That most people are familiar with. But there are other ones. And oh my gosh. So I had mentioned this woman in I think it was my very first episode. Her name is Dolores Cannon. And, a lot of her work, it's like, regression type work. And she does really, really, really great research into like past lives. And a lot of people that she's regressed, and it's a really like very specific type of regression that she does. But a lot of people will talk about the different types of quote unquote alien beings. And so the grays come up a lot, but then there's the tall whites, the tall blacks, the tall, like the blue aliens. Like, so it's just like, and we see some of these kind of manifest in television and film, so it's, yeah. I'm just, it's interesting because you had said that a lot of cultures talk about these different beings,
Well, I guess like I'm thinking about, like I guess you were saying, like, are these beings from from another place, another dimension, or are they from another solar system and whatnot? One of the things that stands out to me is the fact that we haven't seen them. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, we haven't seen them. There's been sightings, but we as a collective, like, why haven't we seen them yet if aliens have arrived? And why are they only going to certain like sites and interacting with the military? Why are they not interacting, show themselves to all of us?
Or why are they just flying around in the sky with lights?
Right.
Why aren't they just like landing and then walking up to some guy and like, hey, I come from this, like,
right. Does our military control them? I doubt it. And so, but at the same time, we see the lights in the sky. It seems like some battle. It kind of seems like a battle sometimes when you see the lights, the sky and the clouds lighting up, and it's just like all these lights racing around. I've seen some crafts where they shoot out different like energy fields. I've seen. Wait, have you seen all these different videos?
Where do you see them? Like TikTok and stuff?
No, I don't have TikTok, but like Instagram, I definitely look there, or YouTube. But people, I just see all these people posting more and more and more, and like at any given time, it could be fake. But one thing I do know is that like, I don't know, something about it is not. Some of them give me like, okay, you're a little weird, but some of it's giving me like, this is really raw footage that people are experiencing. Like simultaneously with all these crazy weather phenomenon that's gone on simultaneously, just because it's not being, broadcast on the media, because obviously they're going to broadcast what they want to broadcast.
Right.
But like all these things that's going on, and that includes what's going on with these different things in the sky. We see different lights. Like I was telling you, there's a certain flashes of light pattern that I've seen in different areas in different videos, and in one of them I saw like a creature in it or whatnot. I'm sure that was probably fake or whatnot. But so I had a conversation with someone and was like, what if it's not? We don't know.
Right. Because it's, I had this conversation with someone else also, and I was saying it's so hard to tell
It was you.
It
was you who said that.
Oh, was I? It was me that said that. It's so hard to tell what's real and what's fake, because, I even think that like the fact that AI, that they've had this type of technology for a long time, but why all of a sudden now have they released it? Why all of a sudden now are they manipulating the weather to such a degree? Why all of a sudden now are they using deep fakes? Why all of a sudden now are they using AI type of way to change voices and create images and create, old historical pictures and stuff like that? Why now, unless something is really happening behind the scenes that they have to confuse the masses about? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to me, we're going through an upgrade. We just got a new Aquarian sun. It's not the same as the Piscean sun. It's a brand new sun, brand new energy that's coming here. And it's probably also opening new portals. It's probably,
have you seen the videos where there's multiple suns in the sky?
Yes, I have seen those.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's people, different places in the world too.
Oh yeah, multiple places. And or when you see the birds just frozen in the sky.
Yeah.
I've seen like a bird like stepping. He was like stepping up something in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's like, people are like, the Matrix is broken. What's going on? Are we watching
the hologram? Yeah.
What's that thing in Vegas? Is it in Vegas? That big dome? That's a big hologram. And
I don't know.
It's really, I think it might be in Vegas, and it made it look like, I don't even know how to Google it, but it's just pretty much a dome that's a hologram, or even like those big ones that they have in like in New York in the billboards,
Times Square and stuff
with the 3D holograms coming at you.
But that's Project Bluebeam, is the ability to do holographic images and stuff. But
if that was the case, couldn't they use that to be like, here's the alien?
That's what I was. Yes, that's what I was saying, and that's what I was saying. Like, why now are they suddenly doing this stuff? Unless it's like actually things are really shifting, or maybe like there are beings that are like, okay, the time is now. Like, we can now enter this plane because the energy is now aligned with us, because it's a new sun. Literally, our sun is literally upgrading itself. So it's like they're probably like coming in, but the powers that be, they don't want us, they want to keep us under control. So they have to confuse us, and they have to do all these things to dumb us down and to make us look over there while like all this stuff is happening over here. You know what I'm saying? And because they're like, well, if the people are going to start seeing things, let's block out the sun. Like
those mad scientists at work again.
Yeah.
Whatever that they do for their own gain. Because we never consented to any of this. Like, so many things I'm like, I did not give my consent.
Yeah.
I did not vote on that. I don't agree.
Yeah.
That's happening in this world.
Yeah. I don't agree that they're opening portals. I don't agree that they're spraying the skies and blocking out the sun. I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with all the manipulation that they're doing to everybody. I disagree. say no to all of it. And that's what I had said earlier about this new thing that they're trying to say that it's, you know, COVID's coming back or whatever. No. I don't accept that. I don't consent to that. Therefore, no, you know?
Right.
And so it's like, we need to use our power to, you know, well, one, you know, you and I, obviously we're aware of these things. We always talk about these things. And there are many, many, many people who also do. And I think maybe witnessing it in person makes someone be like, oh, whoa, wait a second. What's going on? You know? So the good thing is that everyone is waking up in some capacity, you know, whether they're waking up to the fact that they've been lied to about their history or their science, or, you know, the fact that there's people, mad scientists that want to kill everybody, you know, like whatever it is, aliens, whatever it is, like people are waking up. So that's the good part, you know, but it's like, I have a lot of questions. What are these aliens? Like, why are they coming back? Are they coming back? You know, like what's happening?
I told you, for me at this point, it's just all entertainment a little bit. Like, this is real life, but I'm so I think I'm like, go with the flow. I'm just ready. Like, what is the next thing? Like, I'm ready for this metamorphosis so we can like just advance and move on. But whatever's heading our way, I have no clue. But they've made me be very adaptable. I'm very flexible. They've trained. Like, I've learned you throw things at me, I've learned how to be, you know, like I just said, very adaptable. And so anything that's coming our way, I'm like, what is it now? What is it? Oh, aliens? Oh, really? Like, let me continue with my life, though.
Right.
When they really are here, come holla at me.
Right.
But, or they've been here forever, right?
Yeah.
Or now it's a new variant. Been there, done that.
Right. Totally.
When lock schools down, here we go again.
Yeah.
But, I'm just ready for the next thing.
Yeah. I mean, I just like what you said, I just have learned to just observe and watch and be like, oh, okay, that's up next. All right, let me get my popcorn and watch to see how everyone else reacts, you know?
Well, I will say that no one's suffering is entertainment.
Oh, yeah, not at all.
Not at all. None of that's happening is entertainment. It's just that there's so many things happening, being thrown at us.
Yeah.
Recently, and all at once. It's just like you kind of just take it in, and like I said, you just kind of go with it. Like, I don't have that panic inside of me. Mm-hmm. I do have that urge, that the sense of like a change is coming, the sense of like advancement, the sense of like just like I just said, a change for all of us. But the suffering, no, that's not that. But
yeah, and it's unfortunate that there is so much suffering. But I think that comes with like the growing pains, you know, like the birthing pains. Like, you can't come out of your old ways without shedding. You know what I'm saying? You have to shed your old skin, and that's painful. And for some people, it's going to be more painful because they want to resist, you know, they want everything to be what they think it's supposed to be. And they want the world to be the way they've always thought it was. And their growing pains are going to be very, very difficult, you know, especially if they keep falling for the same tricks that the rest of us can see are tricks, you know. We see it's the exact same tactic. And it's like, how many times does something need to happen to you over and over again before you learn? And so at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that people have to suffer. Suffering is the name of the game. You know, we all have suffered in our own way, in our own growing pains. We've all suffered. And it is kind of unfortunate, but it makes us stronger. So that's the good news. It makes our soul stronger. And I think it'll make us stronger as a society too, you know?
I heard that we either grow in pain or we grow in love, and it's kind of like a choice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on how you see something, you perceive something, or how you internalize something.
Yeah. I like that.
I also heard that, like, to look at the situation, especially as the women that coming into, like, this is, I guess, more feminine energy, like, and whatnot, but in that aspect, that we have to look at ourselves as, especially the ones who are aware, like you and I, look at ourselves as, the statement was, as a death doula and a birth doula, like simultaneously.
Oh, interesting.
Because the way that things are dying, they're ending, and how do we nurture and help people through that process? Why simultaneously there's something being born, a new change is happening. So we have to nurture that as well while we simultaneously grieve through the process of letting go of the past and helping others do that as well.
That's really interesting that you say that in particular, because that's what the goddess Kali represents. She holds like the severed heads of men or whatever, or whoever be people that she's killed, and she's considered the goddess of death. But then she also has like babies or something like that. She's also the goddess of birth. It's a really interesting thing. I'm pretty sure that's the goddess Kali. But what's really interesting is that we are considered to be in the age of Kali, the Kali Yuga right now. Yeah. And so we're in the process of birth and death and birth and death. You know, it's like that cyclical kind of energy that we're in. And it happens on a micro level, and then it happens on a macro level. And we're seeing it now happening on a macro level, you know, like society is literally dying and being reborn. You know, so it's like, wow, it's so interesting.
And you know, I want to give credit. I think I heard that from Marianne Williamson. So you know who that is, right? She's my favorite poet.
Oh, okay, great.
But she's also running for president.
Right now? Go girl, okay? There you go. There you go. That's awesome. Well, wow. I mean, this was amazing conversation. This is the best. I love it. I'm so glad you were able to be my guest in my podcast. But we have so much always to talk about. So you will definitely come back, right? Will you? You'll come back?
For sure.
Okay, great. So we'll plan on you coming back soon. But in the meantime, if you want to maybe give our listeners and our viewers your social handles, if you have any, or anywhere they can reach you.
I don't.
Okay, it's okay. I knew you were going to say that. I just wanted to ask anyway. But if you guys would like to go check out my website, it's NicoleBurgessMarsh.com. I changed it. It was Nicole-Burgess.com. You can still access the site, but going forward, it will be NicoleBurgessMarsh.com. There I have links to my book, links to my jewelry, links to all of my affiliates, and different products that I like. And there's lots of stuff you can check out there. So make sure to do so. Make sure to catch up on all the previous episodes. I've got great guest episodes, great solo episodes, and I've got some amazing episodes coming up. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.